So how could she say that was a good thing? Well, I believe God placed her in my life at that time to encourage me because I needed it. Much like many of you probably turn to me when I do these motivational elements, where I try to ground you, shake you by your lapels, and remind you that this is normal stuff, folks. I'm not exempt to it. I'm not ashamed to say I went through these types of things either. I'm actually very thankful because recognizing those nightmares that I held on to, I chose. I chose to keep putting on that garment of sorrow, that garment of fear. What if I try really, really hard and I fail? That's what I was afraid of before I even told her, knowing that I still laid it in her hands and she could have destroyed me. She could have laughed in my face and said, what, what a crazy idea. You're going to be working like everybody else. And I was expecting that to happen because that's exactly what my family said. That's exactly what my friends said. And we like to think that, our family members, I mean, if I tell them what I'm going to do, they're going to encourage me like, yeah, heck yeah, that's the thing. That's it. That's the thing. I can see you doing it. Man, if you do well, could you help me too? That's what you want to hear, isn't it? That's exactly what you want to hear. But you don't ever hear that, do you? You're going to do what? You're going to do what? Hey, Phyllis, listen to this. Come over here. Tell her what you just said. You're going to do what? You're going to push some buttons and money's going to end up in your bank account. What did you just say to me? Come on. Come on. That's what happens, isn't it? And if you have not shared what you want to do yet with your family members, don't be surprised. That's what they do to you. It's normal. That's normal. It doesn't feel normal when it happens. It feels personal. It feels like they're kicking dirt in your face. That's exactly what it felt like for me. At a time when I was already beaten up, tore up from the floor up, no direction in life. Feel like I wasted all that time academically and couldn't even land an interview. Resumes going out every single day, not one phone call ever. Now you can say, well, you're a failure. That's a testimony right there. That's a failure right there. You know what I see? I see a door being kept closed because I was never meant to go through it. Hello. That'll preach right there. What I spent so much time from sixth grade on dreaming of getting a good job, getting my name on a little plate on my desk, maybe having some people underneath me I'm in charge of. That's not me. That was never supposed to be me. As much as I thought it was, just like I thought my first wife was, that was my queen. That was my one time and I'm one and done. Lost my virginity to her and I married her. Just like that. That's the kind of person I am. I didn't want to be a player. I didn't want to run around and see how many times I can get a dip. And we separated, and it put me in a state where, well, I guess I'm just like everybody else. And then I womanized, and I ran around and I did things with married women. And I have an oldest son as a byproduct of that. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You have all kinds of problems when you do things like that. But that young lady's words of encouragement, I carry them today. And when I talk to you, you think I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to my kids. That's why it feels genuine. That's why it feels like you know me. That's why it feels good when I tell you, I believe in you. I think you're going to do it. Because I believe in my children. I believe that they're going to do this. And all of you know me online. You never shared a meal with me. You never met me at a pub, at a cafe, in passing, but you feel like you know me. You feel like we've been friends for a long, long time. Because when I talk to you sincerely. It's not scripted. I don't even know what I'm going to say next. It just comes out. I let it all flow out evenly. And it's all based on real things I experienced and adversities. And if I can go through it and come out of it, and I'm not special, folks. I know some of you think I am, like to think I should be lifted up on a hero pedestal. I should never be lifted up on a hero pedestal. I have so many frailties, so many insecurities. I could never do what I'm doing right now if you were all standing in front of me. I'm introverted. You would never imagine the same person that talks to you like this. If we were in person, it wouldn't be like that. Why? Because it's deep rooted in my childhood. I was a quiet kid. So quiet, I was afraid to talk out loud because the things I was thinking, I thought I'd be in trouble. You can fill in the blanks on that. So where am I going with this? Well, how's this applicable to you? Well, when I was young, I had a lot of anxiety, debilitating anxiety, fear of performance in life, getting a job. What if I don't make as much money as I want to? What if I don't get the job I want? What if I don't go where I want to go and work for the company I want to work for? And I would wake up with night terrors. You ever had one of them before? You just wake up and you're gasping for air. Now, I was fit as a fiddle back then, so I had no apnea. I had no nothing that would be classified as, oh, this sounds like sleep apnea. No, I didn't have any of that. I had crippling anxiety because my mind is supercharged. If you give me an idea and ask me to make this happen, or I have an idea that comes to me now, I can run with that and turn it into a success story. Back then, everything was a nightmare unfolding. Everything was an impossibility. And I made sure of it because I constantly dwelled on this is probably going to end poorly. I shouldn't even bother doing this. Many times I would have ideas I would write down in my journal. This is what I think I should be trying to do today. And then what would I do? Run the other direction all day long. Never work towards it. Never try to do anything working towards that idea becoming fruitful or coming to pass. That's not procrastination. That's running away from it. There's a difference. See, procrastination is like when I tell you to back test. When I tell you, you're not going to learn the things I'm teaching you unless you literally go into your charts and back test them. It doesn't mean go look at what has happened today and say, yeah, well, that was it. No, you got to dig through weeks and months of old news. So if you sit around and procrastinate like that, you're never going to get good at this. What I was doing as a young man was literally running from it. I wasn't just stationary saying, yeah, I'll get around to it eventually. No, I was terrified because I couldn't handle another failure. I couldn't accept another defeat. I was at my lowest point, and I guarded that very next thing all the time, expecting to walk through a door and see something like a murder scene. Well, I knew it was going to happen eventually. That was my mentality then. Diametrically opposed to what it is today. Instead of thinking back then, everything's going to be the worst case scenario. Everything is always bad luck. And that's why I don't believe in luck. That's why I always snub my nose at luck. Okay, because in trading, there is no luck. It's just decisions. And that decision was correct or it's incorrect. It doesn't mean that your model is broken or doesn't work if it is incorrectly done. This means that you as the operator, you made an error. Correct it. Don't do it again. Don't repeat it. It's a binary response. If this happens, then it's this. And every time I make a losing decision, it's mine. I own it. Now, back then, if something bad happened to me, well, this is the person that probably caused this to happen to me. See, when you live a self-defeating lifestyle and you live in fear and toxic what if thinking, what if I don't succeed? What if I try really, really hard? What if I try so hard and I pour so much time and effort into this? Maybe even some money, even then. What happens if I fail? How embarrassing would that be? How demoralizing would it be if I work so hard and I fail? That's exactly what I fed myself every single day. Is it no surprise why I didn't have any ambition to pursue any of the ideas that would come to me? Of course not. It would come to nobody's surprise. But see, that's the benefit of hindsight, looking back at it now. But when you're in the thick of it, when you're living it, you can't see it any other way. And you might be there right now. You might have tried trading. And if you're really, really honest, and I'm asking you to be honest, not with me, you don't need to share it publicly as a response to me, but be honest with yourself. Did you rush it? Did you put a little bit too much on your plate? More than you can handle by trading with real money before you should have? Did you try to pass combines before you even knew who you were? The things that make you tick, the things that hold you back, but you don't think it's that. Did you rush it? Did you jump in and plunge before you really knew what you were doing? Because I think if you were honest, you would admit that that's exactly what you did. You see, there's lots of people out there that are making money. Believe me, they have no problem showing it to you. There's nothing wrong with that. In many ways, they're doing what I did as a 20-year-old. You had to broadcast it because I couldn't believe it either. I couldn't believe it. I had to show everybody, not just because I wanted to twist that knife and rub salt in the wound for everybody that said I would never be able to do it, but I physically could not believe it. Remember, I'm an avid lucid dreamer. I didn't know half the time if I was conscious or if I was in a lucid dream doing what I thought I should be doing. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Sounds like wild. But that's a dreamscape. I moved from nightmare to dreamscape. I was living my dreams. I was not enduring my nightmares. And I didn't recognize that right away. Because I was doing things after the words of a young lady that I was falling head over heels in love with. And her family literally just gave me the invitation to, hey, listen, don't even bother asking me, son. Give her the ring and welcome to the family. That's how I interpreted that. And true to form, once I started making success and I shared with her, look, this is what I did. I made $11,000 today. Wow. Now today, today's terms of trading, $11,000 is nothing, right? I mean, nobody cares about $11,000. What are you going to do with $11,000? You can't even buy a small economy car anymore. But back in 1993, walking out of the movie theater, holding her hand, we just walked out and saw the movie The Crow, Brandon Lee. Dark movie. I liked it. It was awesome. She didn't care for the movie too much. And I said, this is the greatest day of my life right now. Up to this moment, this is the greatest day. I just got to share time with you, watched Brandon Lee just go crazy in a movie he died in. It was epic. It was awesome. The soundtrack was awesome. And I made $11,000. And she was like, what? No way. Are you crazy that you made that just today? I was like, well, it took 3 days to get to it, but I did. Yeah, here it is. I told you. Now, here it is, gentlemen. This is exactly what we're listening for. When you're talking to your ladies, when you're talking to your girlfriends, your wife, your spouse, your significant other, ladies, listen, because this is what we're listening for. This is how you wrap us around your finger. You want a man to stick with you and not run around on you? You want a man that's going to say, you know what? I don't need to get a dip anywhere else. I got everything I need right here. Because listen, ladies, you might think you got something special between your legs. Everybody's got that same thing down there. And men, you got the same thing too. It's how you walk with it. It's what you do when you're not using it. And men, give me an amen if it ain't like this. This young lady literally confirmed what she said the first time. I believe you're going to do it. I believe you're going to do it. If there's any person out there that's going to do it, it's you. I haven't known you that long, but I can tell you are very passionate about this. She knew I was studying all the time. All the time. What is that? What's that radio you're holding? I said, it's not a radio, it's a quote track. It tells me what the price of soybeans and corn and live cattle, high grade copper, all that stuff. It tells me what the prices are right now. And she's like, you know what that means? It's like, well, I'm learning. Yep, that same guy you hear now talks like he knows everything, right? I was vulnerable in her hands, and in her presence, I was vulnerable. And she said, I told you you would be able to do this. Man, I don't care. I could have made $1 million on that trade. Those words meant way more. Way more. I could have ran through a fucking wall. I was like Superman. Ladies, you give your man that, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. And that fueled me. I want to do another one of them. And I don't want to make a mistake. So what was she doing? She was being my accountability agent, the person that held me accountable. Because she would ask all the time, how much did you risk doing that? How much did you spend to do that? See, in her mind, that's the only thing she understood. It cost you something. What was the cost? And I realized that if I take wild, reckless risks, and I'm trying to start a family with this woman, I'm going to give her my name, because I eventually proposed to her. She said yes. Her parents were ecstatic. It was great. It was great. I took her to Harbor Courts Hotel, and there was 2 restaurants in there, and they were both 5-star restaurants. Took a limousine ride down there and proposed to her. And I was scared to death, man. I was scared to death. Not because of what she was going to say, because she already told me she was going to say yes, because I couldn't wait. I told her. She came over to my aunt's house, who I was living with at the time. I said, listen, I want to move out, and I want you to be my wife. And she's like, what? I said, don't worry. I've already asked your dad. He said it's good. She's like, what? Oh. I said, yeah, it's got it all planned out. We're going to go to Ruth Chris. I rented a limousine. She's, why'd you do this then? And she started laughing at me. I said, because I can't wait. I can't wait. I want you to know how much I want to be with you, how much you fulfill me, how much encouragement you provide to me. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't that what you want in a significant other? My life, every day, was writing love letters and love notes and hiding it in things that she would find it underneath a couple layers of socks in between her books because she was going to Villa Julie for business management. And every Friday, I alternated 12 roses being delivered to her house so her parents saw it every other Friday, and her coworkers saw it every other Friday. I swooned and just did everything. I was Mr. Romantic. Why? Because this woman gave me everything. As a man who needed encouragement, she gave me lightning in a bottle. And I wanted to impress her. I wanted her to feel like she could trust me, and it kept me from taking reckless, crazy risks. Think about that. You want to succeed in life? You want to succeed in trading? Your home life's got to be right. You can't be of two minds. Then if you're out there thinking, well, I'm with her for right now. She's my right now thing. She's my right now girl. My side piece. I keep it from her view. If you're living like that, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to fucking fail in trading. You're going to fail. Because what you're doing is all for you. Just you. You have no purpose, no measurement, no guidelines, no boundaries, like a cowboy, like a drunken cowboy. And you can't sustain that kind of stuff. Sure, you might get a lick here and there, catch a little bit of this and catch a little bit of that and look real good. But eventually what happens, you're going to see something else that catches your eye. And you're going to step outside that relationship that you have with that right now girl and your side piece to chase something else. Because you have no morals, you have no character, and you have no discipline. And you're not happy. So you're with that person right now, occupying a space that you're really reserving for someone that you probably will never meet. Because you keep making all poor decisions. You're placing yourself in bars on the weekend, wasting your friggin' money, smoking weed, drinking too much, doing stuff you shouldn't do, instead of focusing on where are you going to be in 10 years? Where are you going to be in 5? Are you going to be able to support yourself? How about a family? You seen how things are expensive right now? Jobs ain't doing it anymore, folks. You got to find ways to make money. And there's no better way than what we do in trading. You can write your own check, but you can't do it if your head's not right. So this is what I mean when I say, you gotta fix a lot of things, and you discover a lot of things. Many times I've had emails from men saying, "Listen, I've been trying to do this, and I'm failing, and I'm not being able to find consistency, and I lose, and I do stupid things." And the first question I ask them all the time is, "How's your home life?" Well, I'm with somebody that doesn't believe in me, and I'm trying to impress them and try to. Right, there you go. There's your problem. That's why I was messing up. I changed my direction in trying to impress someone that didn't want to be with me, that never, ever, ever gave me those words of encouragement, cheated on me. And then I find someone new who did everything opposite. And I wasn't trying to impress her with, I'm smart. I wasn't trying to impress her with, I made X amount of money, but risking too much. What kind of message would that be? Because she's asking for the analytics. How much did you risk to make that $11,000? $1,200. Wow, that's good. Wow, that is really good. What is she processing in her mind? Remember, she's going to school, Bill Julie, She's in her third year of business management. She's thinking, this guy's a keeper. He's not a gambler. He's not recklessly plunging ahead. So if I got with him, he's not going to lose the mortgage, lose the house, lose everything. He's not going to put our nest egg, if we're putting it, aside for the future. He's not going to put us in the poorhouse. I recognize that. I'm thankful that I was able to be astute enough at the time to recognize that. Because if I would have been the cowboy I was trying to get my ex back, I think that I probably would have sowed some discouragement. And because I was transparent with her, and she was sincere. She never poured it on thick. She never said over the top, embellishments of, oh, well, you're just amazing. She just, out of the blue, we would be sitting there and she'd think to herself, and she, you know what? I was thinking about this today. Like, you literally look at those things on that paper, because back then it wasn't like we have it now right on our phone. We could just push a button. I had to physically draw the charts, open, high, low, and close. And I was doing it with like 18 markets. Tedious, very stupid. Should have just picked one. And my real success came when I came to just one and two markets, bonds and S&P. But she would say to me, like we would be in the mall, and she would turn to me and she'd start smiling. She says, I think it's crazy that you do what you do and you can make money doing that. Like, that's wild. She never asked for anything. She never asked for anything. The girlfriend got an $11,000 engagement ring in 1993. Do the math on that. Do the inflationary markup on that today. That was the biggest one I could get at Nusinoff at the time. Charles Nusinoff. And why did I go there? Because Sharon, her mother, said, listen, we already accept you, but at least check the display down there. I'm like, okay, well, I got to make sure mommy looks, like she's got it together. I had to give back the Littman's marquee diamond ring that I got her. That was the one she said yes to. But when we were in Harbor Courts Hotel at the restaurant, and I was kneeling down in my attempt to hide my shaking, trembling knee because everybody was staring at me. So you hear me in the way I talk. I'm not that way in person. I'm quiet. I'm reserved. I'm always sitting in the room with my back in the corner and I'm observing everyone else. I don't walk in the room and try to command and own the room. But you would expect that the way I talk to you in these presentations or in my videos. Why? I have authority in that area, that arena. I have authority there. But if you meet me, you're not on the other side of my trade. You're meeting me as the person, Michael. I'm very reserved. But when I was on my knee proposing to her, I was scared to death because I saw everyone else looking at me. And I was thinking to myself, am I lucid dreaming right now? Or is this real? Because if it's not real, I don't want to wake up. That's how good it was. And I was afraid that they could see inside me and see all the frailties of me being afraid that I would lose this at any moment. At any moment, this would all fade away. Could they see that in me? Could they peer into my soul and see the underlying fear of me not having this anymore? I didn't want to lose it. Making money, secondary. Securing a life partner that believed in me, that literally told her friends when I met them, this is my boyfriend, and then eventually became, this is my fiance. Oh yeah, how you doing? So what do you do? she finishes it for him immediately. He scribbles on charts and money jumps into his bank account. And her girlfriend Ginger was like, "What?" I was like, "Well, it's a little bit more involved than that, but it's a that's a nice way of being an icebreaker." And then it was a very easy way for me to open up because otherwise I would not talk. And she knew that about me. What did she do, man? She tapped into my strength. She didn't put me on a spot and embarrass me. Ladies, that's a lesson for you. And it allowed me to come out of my shell. And so much so that I was out on the dance floor at Partners